I don't know if anybody else has noticed this lately, but I have been noticing an uptick in videos about animals, wild animals, coming into cities and towns near you. Seriously, every week I've got more videos on my news feed. And so I decided to make a compilation and of videos that I saw on YouTube, but also searching some out on the internet. And I have put together a little montage. A lot of the reasons behind it, I believe, is the geoengineering that's taking place, the spraying. And if you'll remember, a few days ago, I shared a video of Brother Jay over at Vessel for Truth. And in that same video that I shared with you, the segment, a little later on in that same video, Brother Jay talks about that and how the spraying is killing off the natural vegetation that they usually eat, causing bears and other wildlife to come into cities in an unprecedented amount.
And we got a lot of mountains through here. And the stuff that they're spraying in the skies, it's took its toll. And these bushes and trees that used to make fruit and berries, they're not producing like they used to. We now have bear and deer and all that in our neighborhoods. It's unprecedented because they're hungry. You know, they're just like us. They need food, they need water, and everything's contaminated, and they have stunted the growth of food on natural herb-bearing plants and so on and so forth. Even some of the plants and that you can eat, they're not even growing anymore.
I was in one of the videos, comment section, and somebody had left a Bible verse. I'm not sure if it's the one that I found, because I couldn't remember the exact Bible verse. And so when I went to search it out, the best I could find was Isaiah, I want to say chapter 13, verses 21 and 22. What you see on your screen right here. I also found Isaiah 32:14, and reading Isaiah 32:14 made an image pop into my mind. It made me think of the opening scene in the movie I Am Legend. How a bustling city was abandoned and there was wildlife in its place. So it was just kind of one of those things I'm reading and then just I have an image pop up.
What you see? Let's go, Sam.
So I'm going to share with you that montage I put together, and I'd also would like to ask for prayer for Rob Cameron and his son Kai. In the last video that I did, I meant to mention it, and I completely, totally forgot. I left a link to the video where he's talking about it. I'll leave that link again because it's kind of a long story, and I'll just let him explain it. But it is an urgent prayer request. And so I ask that you please keep Rob and his son who was being held against his will in a mental facility. And before he went to the mental facility, he was at a hospital, and they forced him down and made him take a COVID test. So obviously he's in a position where he's scared to death that they could force something else on him, like an arm piercing. And Rob's trying to get something done. He's contacted the prosecutor with a really long letter saying that they've made a grave mistake. So the situation is pretty urgent, and as you can imagine, Rob is pretty distraught about it. I would be too if my son was in that position. So please lift him up in prayer, and Kai, his son. So, without further ado, let's roll it.
Thing was first spotted, I guess, late last night around Highway 101. The most recent sighting, they think, late this morning after it showed up in that video, is up towards the hills in the open space, which of course is a good direction for that animal to be going. But boy, in the interim, did it make an impression in this neighborhood?
Yeah, it was amazing, you know, and like I said, my wife saw it initially out in the street from the window and thought it was a giant dog and called 911 instantly.
Seeing the cat wander off down the street was the first surprise. Then Joe Luchak checked his home security camera, and there it was, strolling through his backyard.
It looked like he was going to go out the gate, but the gate was shut. So he came walking this way, and he went down the side of the house and climbed over the fence.
Listen, and you'll hear it go over that fence.
Yeah, it's both beautiful and scary, right? Because they are amazing creatures. They are beautiful. But at the same time, you know, we know innately that a mountain lion is a dangerous creature, right?
Ken Polly is with California Fish and Wildlife, which is working with local law enforcement in case the animal resurfaces. He says sightings this close to open space are not uncommon, especially in the summer months.
It's just that time of year. This is the time of year where young male mountain lions are pushed out by their mothers, and they're starting to find new territory. And for a mountain lion, it's not easy to find new territory.
When I walked around here, the back was pretty much about like right there. So, I mean, it was huge.
Luchak can barely believe what walked through here, or that he caught it so clearly. He says the visit was a bit of a scare and a thrill.
Intensely beautiful, you know. So I sent the video around just in hopes that people would see it and realize that mountain lions are out there, and we have to be aware. I've lived here for 20 years and never seen one. Always wanted to see one, but lo and behold, I had one in my backyard and out front.
No zoom lens needed for this video. Check out this full-grown mountain lion, experts say it's actually a her, hanging out in a tree in this Agora Hills neighborhood. From where it stood to this trampoline, maybe 30 feet, close enough that this little girl who was on there jumping was the first one to spot it at about 1 this afternoon.
I got jumping on the trampoline, and I saw like a mountain tiger, and I saw the tail of it, and then I even go with my sister, and then my sister got a little scared.
I bet the mountain lion, visibly collared, drew a crowd for hours. Neighbors maybe getting a little too close to get their shots as the animal perched, then laid down, slept, then watched the people watching it.
Kind of excited, but terrified.
Sheriff's deputies and fish and wildlife officers came and huddled underneath, devising a plan to, well, let it come down on its own and return to the Santa Monica Mountains, telling neighbors to keep their kids and pets nearby or inside. Lots of eyes were watching the mountain lion all day long, but as the sun was going down, for some, anxiety was going up.
It's scary. It feels unsafe. I never thought a mountain lion can become so close to us.
Wildlife experts said the mountain lion would probably come down once it got dark and people went inside. Homeowners who have a camera on the tree say it's still up there. In Agora Hills, I'm Lori Perez, KCAL 9 News.
New at 11, up close and personal, a mountain lion, and a good reminder to make sure your pets are indoors tonight. You can see that big cat and you can hear him. This mountain lion chasing down a raccoon in a backyard on Lomita Avenue. This is near Cappuccino High School in Millbrae. This video was posted on Nextdoor 22 hours ago. It happened less than 3 miles from where at least 3 neighbors spotted a big cat. A mountain lion with a tracking device is caught on camera. We see it here, roaming San Francisco. Wildlife agencies are on alert. And in fact, so are the neighbors. This isn't the first time this same mountain lion has been spotted in the city. NBC Bay Area's Gene Ellie has the details.
A mountain lion caught on video in San Francisco's Portola neighborhood on Gavin Street, not far from where 280 and 101 meet, just before 4 a.m.
So I had to look at it a few times.
The owner of the camera, who wants to remain anonymous, says she couldn't believe her eyes. She asked her partner to take a look.
And I was like, you have to look at this. I need to make sure I'm seeing this correctly. And it was a mountain lion.
Another neighbor's cameras captured it walking down the sidewalk minutes earlier. California Fish and Wildlife says it's wearing a tracking collar and has visited San Francisco twice before and left on its own. Animal Care and Control says 3 sightings of the large male were reported early this morning, the last in Bernal Heights, where coyotes are a common sight. Mountain lions are not.
The mountain lion right here in Wichita, this time on the east side. This was taken from a Ring doorbell camera near 143rd Street in East Harry. So look how close the cat here in this is to the front door. Haley Tucker talked with the homeowner today. Haley, what did he have to say?
Mike, well, he said that he has some children, and the fact that the mountain lion was so close to his front door there is frankly frightening. But I also spoke with the Kansas Department of Wildlife, who says that the cat that was seen here just last night in East Wichita is most likely the same cat that was seen in Riverside just last week. But he says to also be cautious to everyone. Quiet Tuesday evening when this walked just feet away from a homeowner's front porch in a southeast Wichita neighborhood.
Around 11 o'clock. The Ring doorbell went off. Our neighbor's cat usually sets it off about that time, so it's just kind of what I figured what it was. And I looked, and it wasn't the neighbor's cat. So it was a big old cat. Just came walking right in front of our house. So kind of startled us a little bit.
A mountain lion strolling along the front porch. Scott Logan says they'll now be paying extra attention when he and his family are outdoors.
Tonight, are they closer to your home more often? New video and new information tonight about all the mountain lions we've been seeing roaming around the Bay Area. A growing number of security cameras are capturing them cruising through neighborhoods on the peninsula. But experts say something else is going on, leading to an increasing number of encounters in urban areas. NBC Bay Area's Gene Ellie joins us live from Millbrae. Tonight, there was a meeting, Gene, where you got more information.
I did, Jessica, and people living in the hills here in Millbrae say they're seeing mountain lions. Their habitat isn't that far away, but at that safety meeting tonight, the mountain lion safety meeting tonight, an expert says mountain lions are coming into neighborhoods more often. A mountain lion on the popular Sawyer Camp Trail in San Mateo County had Luther Pugh hitting the brakes on his bike.
I just shouting, "Mountain lion, stop, stop, mountain lion,"
warning other trail users to turn around as he took pictures and video of the unexpected encounter last week.
I was very surprised.
Tonight, take a look at this. People are on high alert after a mountain lion, oh my goodness, was caught on camera here, wandering around a neighborhood in California. You can see the lion there just kind of looking around and roaming. The homeowner who captured this video called Animal Control. Now, they were able to hit the animal with a tranquilizer and move it out of the yard.
But neighbors say they're still really surprised the large cat was there in the first place. Take a listen.
It's just surreal. You don't expect to see a mountain lion in a suburban neighborhood.
Totally unexpected. I'm just fearful for the people that are running or, walking their dogs.
And even though lion attacks are pretty rare, they can...
By now, you've probably seen this video of the teenager in Los Angeles pushing that bear off a ledge in her backyard to save her dog. That encounter, although rare, appears to be part of a growing trend of bears in California that are wandering into urban areas. ABC 7 News anchor Liz Kreutz reports from San Anselmo, where a bear was spotted just last month.
Whether it's in this backyard in Los Angeles or in this suburban neighborhood in Marin County, if it feels like you're starting to see more bears in more unusual places, you're not exactly wrong. Experts say they're noticing this happening too.
We're probably going to see more bear encounters as the years progress.
Rebecca Barboza is a wildlife biologist with the California Department of Fish and Wildlife, who is part of a team now studying this issue.
In the urban areas, we have 24/7 access to food, water, and shelter.
Here in Marin County, a bear hadn't been spotted in years until last month when a young black bear was spotted up in those trees.
Another bear sighting in the Bay Area, this time in Oakley. The bear paid an early morning visit to a neighborhood and created quite a stir. NBC Bay Area's Jody Hernandez is live in Oakley, where folks there, they've never seen such an encounter before. Jody.
They haven't, Janelle. That bear was literally strolling down this sidewalk and up the street, paying a visit to many of the homes out here. Now, a neighbor was the first one to spot the bear. He was on his overnight shift. It turns out that this bear may now be the most photographed bear to visit the Bay Area.
I just was surprised. I freaked out.
Dustin Gentry could barely believe his eyes when he saw a bear on his surveillance video early this morning.
I thought it was someone in a costume walking on the corner. And I said, no, it's a real bear.
Turns out Gentry's camera wasn't the only one that captured the animal. He was seen up and down the street, waltzing down Warhol Way.
I was just in shock. I couldn't believe it. I've lived here for most of my life, and I've never heard of, bears cruising our neighborhood.
The big bear moseyed through driveways and even onto someone's porch.
That's crazy. It's ridiculous. It's like, wow, where does it come from?
We've had a few coyotes, but never a black bear in Oakley.
Shirley Erdman and her husband installed surveillance cameras to capture thieves, but instead of a prowler, they got a growler.
The last time my cameras went off, there was a guy checking the locks and everything. That's why I have them. But to have a bear come by, I've never heard of a bear being around here.
It's crazy that there's a bear right here in town.
Here, that change of seasons is fantastic. The open, wide spaces, and in the summertime, there's every shade of green that the Lord could ever come up with. It's beautiful here.
But what surprised him the most in his time here didn't show up until early Monday morning. A black bear.
I find that exciting. Yeah, I wish there were more around. I mean, I can't, I never actually saw one with my own eyes, but they don't have that in Hawaii.
Oh, yelling, Pete, Pete, and he said, what? I said, there's a bear in the backyard, and he said, a what? I said, a bear.
This is what Robin Hurst woke up to this morning around 6:15, a black bear just taking a stroll in the neighborhood.
Well, by the time the black bear came back again by my driveway, he started kind of running. The police car came, so they were face to face, who's going to make the first move?
That's when our furry friend decided to camp out in a tree, bringing together a huge crowd of fans to bear watch.
No, wasn't scared. We can really depend on wildlife and fisheries, so I know they'll get the job done. And I know it takes time, in order to tranquilize an animal so they don't suffer.
Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries did try to tranquilize the bear, but they say they couldn't get a clear shot. They say the bear will probably be up in the tree for a while until he feels safe to come down. Brianne Bizette, WAFB 9 News.
Remember that black bear that's been making the rounds in the East Bay? It was spotted again. Check out this new security video from another home in Discovery Bay. This is on Sunday. It shows the bear just kind of walking around the neighborhood. The owner says it actually jumped the fence, went in for a swim in the backyard. It's believed to be the same bear seen last week in Oakley, which is about 14 miles away. Fish and Wildlife says the bear may be venturing into these neighborhoods because of the recent wildfires and because the drought is forcing them to look farther for suitable habitats. 5 o'clock, Bessemer City Police wants you to be on the lookout for a bear.
Here is the bear. You see it in the front of this picture here. Bessemer City sent that photo out. It's a wild black bear. It was spotted roaming along East Florida Avenue. Police say they're working with North Carolina wildlife officials to make sure the bear is safe, along, of course, with neighbors. Now, we did stop by the area where the bear was last seen. Everything seemed quiet, no sign of the bear, but neighbors tell us they're keeping their eyes peeled.
That bear could have came on my front porch, because I was in the bedroom. He could have came on my front porch. My door's been open all day.
People were, saying that it was fake.
Your eyes don't deceive you.
Or, Photoshop.
This scaly giant.
Someone said we CGI'd it.
That could probably rule a bayou or an Everglade.
If we could CGI that good, we wouldn't be working at UPS.
Yeah, we wouldn't be working at UPS.
Calls Fort Worth home. And friends Jimmy Martin.
This is something that's rare.
And Zach Archibald.
Oh my gosh, it's huge.
We're lucky enough to capture these now viral photos in the city's Nature Center.
Yeah, he's out there.
Monday morning, Mike Murfield's daughter excitedly called him and told him to put his drone up.
Took off, flew up, and straight out from me, picked it up right away.
In the marsh that backs up to his yard, he'd found an alligator.
It was, holy smokes, moment.
It's interesting. It's a little scary.
Just up the street, Megan Mann sums up how the neighborhood Facebook page took the news.
People in the neighborhood are sort of going, okay, do we put our house up for sale? We have a pretty good vantage point.
She spent the day watching the marsh from a back window.
Do we put up signs that say warning, gators present?
Everyone's biggest question is how.
We're nowhere near any part of any large body of water.
It was incredible. I loved it. I mean, I know they're dangerous animals, which is why I was a coward and hung up my car. But I still, it was amazing.
That's funny. Oh my God.
What is happening?
Oh, wow. Check out this. I heard about this, but it's different when you see it. This big guy was found roaming well, I see why he's turning now. He was roaming a Houston area neighborhood. The police there had to call for backup.
Oh.
They took this alligator. It took 5, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the video. It's just, I can't stop looking at it. It took 5 officers to pull this alligator across the street to a nearby pond. And you saw the fight he put up. They estimate he was 8 feet long and weighed 600 to 700 pounds.
People who live in a Southeast Austin neighborhood are a little rattled.
Yeah, Juan Rodriguez talked to neighbors today who are dealing with an infestation. Juan?
That's right. Imagine walking up to your front porch and seeing a large rattlesnake at your door. Well, it's become a common thing for one neighborhood, and experts say they are not alone.
But lately it's been like rattlesnake, 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 baby rattlesnake.
It's a visitor Claire O'Neill and her neighbors were not expecting.
People in their front yard, in their garage, and everyone is on pins and needles. Myself specifically, because I have a 19-month-old son and a 30-pound dog.
Take a stroll around the neighborhood near McKinney Falls, and you're likely to see one.
And every day someone's like,
saw my snake, rattlesnake sighting. Here's one. We have even a Google map where we're pin dropping where all the rattlesnakes are.
Check this out. We're not lying when we tell you about this story. Imagine finding 17 baby snakes and the mama right in your home. Well, one woman in Augusta found all of those snakes in her house, but hopes they're all gone by now. Thankfully, the snakes have been removed, and she believes they came from a hole from plumbing work, but just something scary to wake up to. And then, of course, you're probably scared to go to sleep thinking that you didn't get them all. I mean, Riley, those snakes were probably running away from all this humidity outside.
Trying to dodge the heat for sure. I was getting ready to hear us say that happened somewhere like in Florida or something, but right here at Augusta, oh my goodness.
And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures. And owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces. And her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged.